Sometimes when you are so excited to move to a brand new location, it's so easy to overlook some things about a city that you wish were not true. This video is all about the things that absolutely suck about living in Santa Rosa. What's up, guys? My name is Danny M. Cronin, and if this is your very first time to my channel, please consider hitting the subscribe button. I drop a video once a week, every single week, all having to do with living in Sonoma County, and I am a full-time real estate agent, so if you have any real estate related questions at all my contact information is down below. Call me, text me, email me, and if you're super serious about making a move here, we can schedule a 30-minute Zoom call so we can go over your wants and needs and see how I can help. With that out of the way, let's get into the video. Okay, so number one on the list, and this one goes without saying, the fire risk in Sonoma County, Santa Rosa, is horrendous, and it's absolutely scary. And apart from not only having to worry about fires here in Sonoma County, Santa Rosa, if you are thinking about making a purchase here, expect you are going to spend a lot more money on home insurance. So we actually just recently ran into this issue. We sold a client of ours a beautiful home in Wild Oak, which is on the east side of Santa Rosa near Oakmont. Luckily, they were cash, so they were not necessarily having to get things done before being able to release loan contingency, because there was no loan contingency. They were working with cash. So it was a little bit easier to get them in, but it still caused so many headaches. It was countless phone calls all throughout the transaction. Companies would call them back and tell them, yes, we're going to give you an insurance policy. As soon as my client said okay, they then removed the policy because they weren't able to insure in this area. So this is a bigger issue with someone who is thinking about purchasing here and has to have a loan in place. This is actually a condition of the loan, meaning if you do not secure home insurance before close of escrow, you cannot buy the house. The banks will not lend you money until they make sure that their investment is safe. And by doing so, one of the ways that they do that is by making you put a home insurance policy in place. So definitely a big con here. And listen, I've lived in Santa Rosa my entire life, and fires was the last thing I ever even thought about growing up. But back in 2017, we had the Tubbs fire, which devastated so much of Santa Rosa. It was absolutely unbearable. We had to evacuate the house at 3 o'clock in the morning. And at the time, I lived way over on the west side of Santa Rosa, so we weren't in immediate danger of the fires that happened in 2017, but still had to evacuate. We ended up going to San Francisco, and we stayed at a hotel for, I think, 4 or 5 days until we could figure out what was going on, because at first it was just get out of the house. The fire department's at your house telling you to get out, so you don't really grab anything. You just get out of the house and you listen. So 4 or 5 days at a hotel in San Francisco definitely, wasn't something we were planning on what was going to happen, but it's definitely a risk, and it's seeing what everyone is going through right now in LA. At the time of this video, it's currently right in the middle of the LA fire. So seeing the news, seeing all the photos, seeing the videos of what those poor people are dealing with right now just brings back terrible memories and deja vu. So fires are definitely something to think about if you are thinking of relocating to Santa Rosa or the entire Sonoma County area for that matter. It's definitely scary. I got a 4-year-old now. At the time of 2017, I didn't have we didn't have our son yet. So now that we have our little guy, definitely a lot more scary. Every night when you go home, you got to make sure the car's got a full tank of gas during the high, fire season of Santa Rosa. You just have to think about things that I never really had to think about before. So definitely scary, and something you should definitely look into before making a move here. And number 2 on the list, and this one hurts me to say, but we definitely have a homeless problem here in Santa Rosa. If you've done any sort of research on Santa Rosa, online, at home, wherever, I'm sure you have seen or heard about the homeless issue we have here in Santa Rosa. It's bad, and it seems like it's only getting worse as time goes on. I remember when I was a kid, again, this is something I never even thought about. I don't know if I was fully aware of it or if it wasn't just as bad when I was a kid, but just about in every single neighborhood you go through now, if you're spending the weekend downtown or whatever the case is, you're definitely going to see homeless people in and around the Santa Rosa area. And I know for the longest time we have a famous creek trail here. It's called the Joe Rodata Trail. Google that and you can check out. It's famous for being a homeless encampment. It seems like they line the entire creek and then the police or whoever gets them out of there, and then just for them to return a couple weeks later and completely take over the whole creek trail that runs from Santa Rosa to Sebastopol, which is tragic because it's such a beautiful trail. My son and my wife, we sometimes will walk the area if it's cleared out, and it's nice to have a little thoroughfare if you're into biking, running, walking. I'm a big runner, so I love to run the trails of Santa Rosa. The Santa Rosa Marathon is actually in August, and it runs up and down the trail all through Santa Rosa, so it's absolutely gorgeous, just tons of views of vineyards, but half the time it is covered with homeless encampment. So it's something that's obviously very sad to see. I don't think the city has, an answer for it or when it's going to get better, if it's ever going to get better. But if that's something you are critical of, I would definitely do some more research and dive into, what is going to happen with the homeless people here in Santa Rosa. And if that's a deterrent for you, that's a deterrent. And number 3 on the list, this one hits very close to home. And it's all the school closures happening right now, or the projected school closures. As I mentioned early on, I have a 4-year-old now. He's in TK, about to go into kindergarten next year. And the whole reason we bought the house we bought back in 2021 was to be in the Hidden Valley School District. That's just a district my wife and I researched, and we realized it's definitely an area we want our child to go to school in. We'll come to find out this year there's a bunch of budget cuts, there's attendance issues, so they are proposing to close down a lot of elementary schools, middle schools, and even some high schools over the next couple of years. It's actually, this week is the week that all the meetings are going to be taking place to see what schools they are going to close down. And the one we wanted our son to go to is actually on the chopping block. So this is causing us to have to look elsewhere, because obviously it's 2025 right now, and these are things that we're going to have to get in place, because I want to make sure my son stays in the same school district his whole life going to school, because that was something that happened to me when I was younger. I ended up going to a school district all the way up until the end of middle school, and then my parents put me in a separate high school that was in a different district, and it was hard. It was hard to find new friends and get in my little circle and do all of those sort of things. So it's something I'm definitely trying to steer away from my son. I want to make sure he's in one school district so he can kind of grow up with his friends, and then it just makes the transition, elementary school to middle school to high school. It just makes it so much easier. So right now the school system is in absolute chaos. They're having meetings every single week. They're proposing new schools to be shut down every single week. So it's a very trying time right now. So like I mentioned, it's causing us to have to go and interview different schools that we never even thought we were going to send our son to. But it's something that's a necessity right now, because the school he was planning to go to is, maybe on the chopping block. We don't know for sure yet, but having to deal with the inter-district transfer and all of those sorts of things, it's a nightmare. So I highly implore you, if you are thinking about making a move to Santa Rosa, identify some areas, especially if you have kids. Do the research on the school districts you want your son or daughter to go to, and make sure that school is still available, because obviously that's going to hinder where you want to go, right? If you want them to go to this school, that school is going to be shut down next year, then maybe you want to live in this area that's in this school district. So school district right now, it's definitely a con. Another thing that sucks about living in Santa Rosa, and I hate to say that, but it's absolutely true sometimes, is the traffic. And this is something I've complained about in numerous videos, but it's something obviously I deal with every single day. So to give you some reference here, I live on the east side of Santa Rosa in a little neighborhood called Lomita Heights. My office is on Bicentennial, which is very, very close. And sometimes just going to work, heading down Shenate Road, around 7:30, 8 o'clock every single morning, it's just completely backed up. Sometimes I feel like some of the intersections that were put into Santa Rosa, however many years ago, they just did not think about what it would do when more people are in the area. Santa Rosa's grown exponentially over the last couple of years, decades, and it just seems like every single intersection you can just get stuck at forever and ever and ever. My wife actually works at Kaiser, which is right across the street from my office, so she deals with the same things I do every single day at different times, and it's nothing better. Our stories are the same. I leave at 7:30. She leaves at like 3 o'clock. So It doesn't matter what time of day it is. It seems like the intersections get backed up for so long. I don't know if it's a problem with the signals or what's going on, but you can be stuck at a red light for upwards of 5 to 10 minutes, I swear, depending on the time of day and kind of what's going on. I just don't feel like Santa Rosa did a great job at thinking about the master plan of Santa Rosa when this place was built. Now that we have more people living here, it seems like there's just more traffic. The signals are a nightmare. Some of the intersections just don't make any sense at all. They just merged Steel Lane. That's a very busy street that runs east and west. They just merged that all the way down to one lane right by Steel Lane Elementary School. I don't know why they did that, but now it makes traffic even worse, and it's just getting through the cars, the signals. There's a school there, the elementary school, so there's a separate signal there. So I've been completely backed up on Steel Lane before, like right in the middle of the day, 11, 12, 1 o'clock. So it just seems like traffic in Santa Rosa is just getting worse, and obviously that's just something you're gonna have to deal with if you live here in Santa Rosa. If you guys are enjoying this video, please do me a huge favor. Give me a like on the video. It really helps the channel out a lot. And if you want more content about living in Sonoma County, make sure you hit the subscribe button. And if you are thinking about really making a move here, make sure you send me an email. All my contact information is down below. We can set up a quick 30-minute Zoom call so I can understand a little bit more about your wants and needs and find you that dream home you're looking for. Another thing that sucks about living in Santa Rosa is paying the high property taxes. Obviously, property taxes, it's not necessarily a Santa Rosa problem. It happens all over the place, especially in California. I just find it so frustrating at the end of each and every year. We have to pay more money when it comes to property taxes, and just being able to own a home here in Santa Rosa is such an amazing accomplishment. And then at the end of the year, you get stuck with these giant property tax bills. And I've had clients that are first-time home buyers that have purchased homes, and this is something they completely overlook when it comes to budgeting for a home. If you have in-pound accounts and it's coming out of your mortgage every single month, or if you do not have in-pound accounts, it's definitely something you have to budget for, because what the owner is paying in the house now, when you go to purchase a home, it's going to be reappraised at current market value. And that property tax is just going to go up. I promise you it's not going to go down. It's definitely going to go up, and you can choose to pay for it a number of different ways, either in-pound accounts or pay 2 installments each and every year. And again, I know this isn't a Santa Rosa problem, but this kind of goes hand in hand with the cost of living here in Santa Rosa. It's extremely high, it seems like, and it's only getting worse as the days and times go on. So paying property taxes, and the number one thing that really irks me when it comes to paying property taxes, if you pay it over the phone, they slap on a convenience charge. And I think it's about, I just paid mine, I should know, but I think it's around $200 just to pay it over the phone. So not only do you have to pay a ridiculous amount of money for property taxes, you then have to pay a couple $100 more to pay your property taxes. Somebody please make this make sense. And last on the list, this is something that really, really, really frustrates me. I have so many clients reaching out wanting to get their foot in the door when it comes to Santa Rosa real estate. They want to buy a starter home and they want to live in it for a couple years, and then they want to sell it, recoup that equity, and put that on the next home, their dream home. So condos are something that come up often when it comes to first-time home buyers, someone just looking to get their foot in the door a little bit to earn some equity and then move on. So the thing that sucks about this is paying homeowners association fees, dues, is absolutely ridiculous. A lot of times you don't even really know what you're paying or what it's all going towards. A lot of HOA companies are good because they'll give you a full list of what it means to be a part of the homeowners association in that area. But some companies don't. And the most frustrating thing about the entire thing when it comes to HOAs is good luck getting a hold of someone who is actually in charge of the HOA and knows what the rules and regulations are. Their documents that they give us when we're in contract are probably 300 pages long, and they were first made when that HOA was first developed, which, you know, a lot of cases here in Santa Rosa, it was 20, 30, 40, 50 years ago. So it's so frustrating to be able to have to pay to be a part of a community, and then it's even more frustrating when you can't get a hold of anyone. And then another thing that is really ridiculous is these HOA fees. They're not everything they're cracked up to be, and they actually go up pretty regularly. So if you're thinking about buying a condo in Santa Rosa or Sonoma County, the number one things you want to look at are the meeting minutes. You want to see if this HOA is actually getting together as often as they say they do. You want to know how much reserves they have in the bank, because if the HOA ends up running out of money and they can't fix certain things around the complex, then you, the homeowner, are in big trouble, right? That means you purchased a home with an HOA hoping the HOA was going to take care of X things, and it comes out that they don't have any money and they can't take care of it. So you want to make sure you see meeting minutes, you see their bank reserves. You want to make sure they have enough money in the bank to actually pay for the things that they say they're going to be paying for when you purchase a home there. And then number 3, you want to make sure this HOA isn't going to be jumping up 2, 3, 4, 5 times a year. We sold some clients a condo a couple years ago, and every year, actually twice a year, that HOA has gone up. It doesn't go up a whole lot, but it still goes up, and it's still going to eat into your budget. So I just think HOAs in Santa Rosa are a scam, to say it bluntly like that. I think they take advantage of people. So if you're thinking about buying a condo or a townhome that has HOAs, really look into it and really make sure this is a place you want to be for a while, or maybe it's just a couple of years to get some equity and then move on down the road. It's so important to look at the little things, look at these items, look at these documents in detail, and make sure it's everything you want it to be. And that's going to wrap up this week's video, guys. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, please hit the like button, subscribe to the channel so you are notified next time I drop a video all about living in Sonoma County. And of course, if you have questions about relocating to the Santa Rosa, Sonoma County area, all my contact information is right here. Call me, text me, email me, whatever is most convenient for you. And if you want to set up a quick Zoom call, I'd be happy to do that. Thank you so much for watching, and we'll see you on the next one.